nsaneviews Season 1 Episode 4, Let's Play Minecraft. Today we're going to be going through how we get Netherrite, how we have a gold farm now. Last episode we went over how to use trading to get emeralds and how to use those emeralds to get diamond tools and armor. We have so many riches now, I know that beacons are not going to be a problem. Throughout this episode we will be perfecting this little gold farm that we're in right now, and at the end we will have a small montage gathering all the ancient debris needed for the gear you see. This mending villager is always giving us trouble. Last time he made that lectern disappear like some kind of magician that hated literacy, and now he's sleeping during the day. You know, if he was any other book villager, I'd probably just get rid of him. I mean, it's... No. He's cursed. He's cursed. Let me know what we should do to handle this guy. For real. Now, in order to build the type of gold farm that we're gonna need, we have to get on top of the Nether, which is exciting because, as you guys probably know by now, I'm used to playing Minecraft Bedrock, where sure, you can go on top of the Nether, but once you get there, you can't build a thing. Now here, we're going to be pressing the F3 key so that we can see our coordinates and looking at the targeted block spot right here. On this debug screen, it shows us our targeted block, which is where our crosshair is facing, but it also shows us the block, which is where our feet are. We can write down the coordinates for later if we need them, or we can just take a picture of them on our cell phone. Normally that's what I do. We now have two sets of coordinates, the ones here in the Nether and also the ones in the overworld. Technically though, those are the same coordinates because the ones in the overworld are just the ones in the Nether divided by 8. And once at the top of the Nether, you're going to be looking for a spot just like this one here. Pulling up the debug screen to show targeted block at Y level 127. Of course, it's going to be bedrock, and we're going to pop right through it with one of our ender pearls we have collected via trading. So we look up about 45-degree angle and aim it directly. Oh, no, not the... Okay, so we just throw another one. And we're up. We brought plenty of obsidian with us and of course a flint and steel. Gonna be creating another nether portal here. Same coordinates as down below, except the caveat being that we're at 127 on the y-axis. Came here with 28 obsidian, so there's really not a good reason for me to be using this dirt. But this is a Minecraft survival series, maybe I'll make 6 more. And this is the Nether. That means that if we place spawnable blocks, those spawnable blocks can spawn blocks. Mobs. They spawn mobs. Placing non-spawnable blocks on top of those blocks is important. And you don't have to place non-spawnable blocks everywhere, just at your feet. And I'm making sure that we do that because I do not want a giant ghost monster shooting exploding fireballs at my build in the Nether. But we have one more portal to build, and that one's going to be right above that overworld portal that we were just in front of, except for this one will be much higher on the y-axis. Now that we're going to have connection to the top of the Nether, that means that we can create a Nether hub later, and we can build farms up here. First of which being that gold farm, of course. Maybe also a guest farm soon, because it would be good to have the gunpowder later once we get those wings. And it worked. It really worked. This is awesome. A huge thank you to Pixel Riffs. That's the content creator that I used as a guide. His old video really helped me figure out how to bypass the bedrock, get on top of the Nether, and connect the portals. But maybe these past couple pass-throughs were a little bit overkill. I just wanted to make sure we definitely have it right. And if you use this video sometime in the future, I suggest you do the same thing. Go through and make sure. Of course, I already knew how to link nether portals, but I've never been able to build on the roof, so it felt like a good idea to be positive that it was going to work the first time. And we're building the sword to be used at the gold farm. You could make it so that they just fall to their death and you collect the XP because of the aggro, but that's not the way I work. I'd rather tear these guys up with a melee weapon. Magma blocks. In order to make the spawning platforms, we are going to go along the lava lakes of the Nether and just mine those things out with a pickaxe. Now, they could be crafted by killing magma cubes and then crafting them in a crafting table with a 4x4 square, but this is much simpler, especially when you have efficiency 5. Look at that stuff, melting like butter. And the reason we're shooting for magma blocks instead of just any old spawnable block is because we really don't want to have to deal with the extra mobs that have been introduced since the Nether update. If you're playing Minecraft 1.16 or anything after that, then magma blocks is going to be the way that you want to go. But if you're playing something before that, any spawnable block will do. I went a little bit overboard here anyway. I think we only use half those blocks. And next we decide exactly where we want to pillar up. I chose here because it's almost perfectly in the center of the Nether waste biome, which is the best biome that you could use for building this type of gold farm, because zombified piglins have the highest chance to spawn here. You basically just bring a bunch of blocks to build a big tower up to build limit, and as you're towering up, you have to put the ladder kind of behind you as you go so that you can fall back onto that ladder and... not like that. So we make it up to build height, and then we're going to use glass blocks while we're up here, because glass blocks are also non-spawnable, just like those bottom half slabs, and also leaves. There's a whole list of non-spawnable blocks I guess you could use Google to find. But the reason that we're starting with non-spawnable blocks on the roof is because we don't want to have to deal with ghasts, like I mentioned earlier, coming in and blowing up all of our hard... Oh yeah! Also, my brother has joined. We will be playing together on this Let's Play series. It's a Let's Play, yeah, with an S and an apostrophe. I had a good think about what I like when it comes to Minecraft videos, and I decided, really, it's the interactions between two players. Or more than two players. We'll see how this grows. We'll still be growing together within this Let's Play series as viewers and the creator, but it will be really fun to be able to have a few shenanigans as well. The reason that we're putting the glass blocks the way we are, where it to be 1 and then 2 spaces, and 1 and then 2 spaces in these rows, is because the ghasts need a 3x3 space to spawn, and as long as we don't offer them that, we're golden. Building the spawning platform here, and it was a little bit of a struggle. See, I didn't really follow a tutorial for this build of any kind. I watched a few and I understood how it all worked, and then I just kind of went at it. I don't suggest doing things that way. I don't know, I do and I don't. You see, the thing is, I have a lot of fun doing things like that. It's really cool to see what works and what doesn't, and kind of learn and grow and build at it. But following a tutorial is usually easier. To say the least, figuring out a farm on your own and building it and creating it can be stressful, especially when you're putting pressure on yourself to make content on YouTube for it. But the payoff of knowing that you created your own build and that it's done and it's done right is totally worth it. And I am just so excited to be able to play through this series with my brother now. You know, my kid and my wife also play. Thinking back, some years ago, I got a good majority of my immediate family playing this game. Who knows what this will turn into? Taking a look around here just so that you guys can see how something like this is built if you haven't done it before, or just how I did mine in case you're curious. Use the leaf blocks to stretch out so that way they have something to walk toward to the kill chamber, which is over here. The kill chamber has that carpet above it, but I end up removing that later. Actually, I end up removing the leaves too, but we'll get into all that. You'll see all the mistakes. You just wait. Actually, probably not even all of them. Another problem when it comes to figuring out your own builds is things like this. he keeps either despawning or maybe getting destroyed by a golem that spawns in the wrong area. I don't know, I haven't really troubleshooted it yet, but you can see he was named. Zombie will probably, by the next episode, disappear again, and I'll have to replace him. Heading back to the top of the farm so that we can fix the spawning platform a little more, and... Yep, not this time. You thought it was gonna happen again, but nope, not this time. But as I mentioned, we are headed back to the top because I like to mess things up. That's what it is, I enjoy it. No, I make mistakes because I'm human. But iron golems belong up here because sometimes those magma cubes, the little guys, will spawn, and the iron golems attract them, so they'll jump towards the iron golems and fall to their death. I can't even place a block. And here, I am at least thoughtful enough to remember that I have to take away those magma blocks there before I place the head. Otherwise, the golem's just gonna try to walk back onto the platform, and it's just gonna be an even bigger pain in the neck because my normal way of killing a golem would be to stand 4 blocks high and whack him with some kind of sword or axe. And 4 blocks above me is technically above build height, so I wouldn't be able to do that. I guess I could use the bow. And we're using a bow now to attract them. The aggro is like a group horde mindset because of the fact that these guys are zombified. On each corner we have a zombified piglin trapped on its own block with a glass block above its head and blocks at each direction of its feet so that it cannot move. That is to ensure that the aggro stays on the zombie piglins at all times no matter where they're spawning, which in turn makes them rain from the sky if you come down, at least for a while. So we have a ton of levels and a bunch of trash. Well, it's riches, but it's riches that we don't have a good place to store currently, so they're pretty much trash. I was letting most of it despawn and using a lot of the levels to upgrade some gear and put some books on stuff. All of the hoppers funnel into that hopper there, so all I had to do is create an item filter at the bottom that's connected to that. And item filters really aren't something that Bedrock players get familiarized with. In fact, redstone in general is something that Bedrock players don't get familiarized with. So this was all new territory. And I'm doing it above the Nether, which is brand new to me. And above the Nether, of course, I'm using these slabs and creeping around on these slabs to try to stay safe because I can't really use any spawnable blocks in case, what if I fall and I come back up? Now there's mobs up here trying to fight me or something. This sorting system does not work, by the way. I try over and over again. I'm playing with it. I'm going through the filtration system. I'm watching every kind of tutorial that I can find on it. And even though the comments and the title said that this would work in 1.18, it didn't. It didn't work at all. Eventually, I'll be at a point where I can do redstone all by myself in Java, but for now, I can't even do it right with a tutorial. Trapping these guys is pretty simple. You can nudge them. As long as you don't hit any of them, you're fine. Just kind of push them to the spot where they need to be, and then build blocks around them. They don't even like to walk around much. While you're doing it, though, again, just be very careful that you don't hit any of them. Creating this thing, there was a whole lot of gathering resources, magma blocks, and then also the iron mainly came from the iron farm. But these trees, thankfully we ran into that wandering trader in the previous episode because we were able to buy enough so that we could get both the giant jungle trees and the large dark oak tree. We do also have the regular oak and spruce because spruce is everywhere around the tundra, but I like these ones better. And in my typical fashion, I was worried more about wood than I was about my safety. And we're out. Again, getting attacked. That's really nothing to fret about anymore, though, with the sword that we have and the gear that we've built up to, and the awesome achievement that we just got. Sorry about the segue, but I was super stoked about getting that. I totally forgot that my brother had mentioned he put on a mod so we could get achievements and get heads. That's awesome. But let me go ahead and take care of this. Because of how many swords were coming out of this thing as I was slashing away, I had decided it's probably easier to just burn them. Like, burn them with fire, not even smelt them down. Just get rid of them. They are in the way of the good stuff. A few tutorials and 1 bucket of lava later, and guess what? Your boy burnt down the farm 3 times. Remember when I mentioned that I love creating new things and it's fun to just figure it out on my own? It's not exactly 100% honest. I mean, I was super stressed out. This was a very, very stressful thing to learn how to do. And here I am trying to make the sorting work. The sorting was never going to work. This is outdated. This is rubbish. And I am very grateful for some people in the Minecraft for Adults group on Facebook, because those guys really helped me out. And it's not to say that Minecraft isn't for children, obviously. Obviously, kids love this game and it's for everyone. But I just happen to be part of a group that is for adults who play Minecraft. I could have edited this part out, you know, going up and down this ladder. But I needed you guys to at least see. I mean, I probably made this trip at least 30 or 40 times, up and down and up and down. Going down isn't that bad. I mean, sometimes you fall and splatter, and sometimes you catch the ladder. But traveling up this thing is half the time that it takes to build it. At least for me, because I kept having to go back. Planning was not my strong suit with this build. Trial and error did work, though. I don't know why that's blinking. Again, redstone, not my thing. But hey, items are currently being sorted properly. I put up a new design, followed a different tutorial, listened to some guys online, and this thing, it sort of works. Not that part, though. That part isn't working. At least now you can sort of get a peek at the circuitry right there, and I'll probably put a link in the description. That way, if you guys really want to build this, you can follow the people who know what they're doing. And not me. No, I just joke, I joke. Obviously, by the end of this video, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you should too. I'll put a separate link in the video for this trash bin idea right here, because that came from a different guy. The original trash bin for this thing was... it was trash. And not the good kind of trash. It didn't work, man. You shouldn't even need the link, because all you'll have to do is pause when you saw the little contraption. It's just 2 pistons facing certain ways with a repeater there, and it's all coming out of the dropper. Actually, no, that's a comparator. It's a comparator, people. It's not a repeater. But other than that, yeah, it's super mega simple. I'll still place it just because people deserve the credit when they create something, but I'm sure you can figure it out. There's a sticky piston that gets powered when the comparator has something in it, and it aligns the 2 observers, and then bam, 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 starts throwing stuff into the lava. Hopefully I dulled down all of these pigs squealing enough to where it's bearable during these moments. I want to show you guys that it actually works, but I don't want to continuously do this so much that it's just annoying. So we'll digress. If you build this the way that I did, and you don't have enough items to fill it to 41, just understand that 41 is not gonna... The items are not gonna show up until you pass the 41st. Then on the 42nd, that item will be thrown into your storage bin. The first 41 of them, though, they're stuck in the sorter. That's how it works. I don't even know how that's how it works, but that's it. Giving you guys a good look around here so you can see how something like this is set up, and obviously feel free to make your own. Use this as a guide. Follow the whole thing if you want to, but I don't go step by step. And there's enough content here for you to feel confident knowing that you can do it. I would say the same thing as always. If nsaneviews can do it, of course I can. And hey, sometimes you don't have a bow, so you just smack them and run. Smack them and run, haul it as fast as you can, and squeeze in a little hole. No, really, don't try it that way. It is foolish. But it's fun. Thank you as always if you got this far. It is very appreciated if you dug it, leave a like, and if you're new, consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, create a new account. No, I'm just kidding. But I did tell you that there would be content containing gathering netherite and ancient debris and piecing them together to have better gear. That's all here. And we're going through it. But I'd rather do that as like a, I don't know. What do they call that again? Oh yeah, music montage. One last time, I'm gonna go ahead and thank you for supporting my dreams. Like and subscribe if you dig it, and if not, you know, I'll give up. Not really. I ain't going nowhere.